So you've got a certain amount of character points. Specifically, you have 20.
Okay.
And you start by buying points in your stats, right? So it's a number of CP, character points, equal to the number of points the character currently has in that stat. Does that make sense? So you get 1 for free, right? All the stats start at 1.
Cool. So then 2 costs 2, 3 costs 3, 4 costs 4.
2 costs 1. 3 costs 2.
Because it's what's
Okay.
current.
Okay.
That makes sense? 4 costs 3. 5 costs 4. And that's the maximum for stats.
It's pricey quick.
And skills use the same pool of character points?
If you want to train a skill, it costs 1 point. If you want to master a skill, that's another 2 points.
Another 2 points.
That makes sense? So mastering a skill completely from bottom, from untrained, would be 3 points. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It is advised that game masters do not allow players to master any skills unless the adventure is heroic or higher, which this one isn't.
Good to know.
So I would spread it out more. You can also save some character points to buy some backgrounds, which can give you like extra starting cash or a hideout. Someone will owe you a favor. Maybe you've got a vehicle or some reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you spend those character points on.
Nice and simple. What? I'm thinking probably a blend of like physique and intellect. Like the idea of either being a pilot or like a rig jockey, or a combination of the two, depending on skill points.
How do we get you a battle rig then?
I wouldn't assume I would have one for the majority of the
You
adventure.
wouldn't necessarily have one, but they're
Yeah.
everywhere, and if one's
Exactly.
unattended,
Like I said, how do
hop
we
in.
get you one?
GTR? Grand Theft Rig?
Grand Theft Auto.
well, that sounds more like a traditional
Tank
Grand
bust.
Theft Auto game done on like the high seas.
Just,
There you go.
just pull them out and then just throw them because nobody wears seatbelts.
The dystopian future that GTA presents to us. Or past, depending on which game
Depending on what
you're
you're playing. Yeah.
About how much do backgrounds usually cost?
Well, it depends on the level, right? Like you can spend 1 point to get. Let's start with cash, right? Maybe you want some cash in your background. Like you started out with inheritance or like some extra spending money, whatever. If you spent 1 point, you get $50. If you spent 2 points, you get $100. 3 points would give you $400. Does that make sense? However, characters are limited to 3 points worth of cumulative backgrounds for this adventure.
Okay.
Because it's standard. It's like a low-level
Mm-hmm.
adventure.
So don't save any more than 3.
Got it.
Yeah. It's, if you want backgrounds. You don't need them.
Mhm.
They're purely like, oh, I want to start with a motorcycle, or oh, I want a little bit extra spending cash, or I want somebody to owe me a small favor, or like it's not vital. You could completely ignore the background. It's not necessary.
Yeah, save them, then see what they are, and
Sure, and then if they don't like it, you can pump them back in.
put them somewhere else.
Now, when it comes to name and nationality and stuff like that, obviously I can help you with that. I'll let you know, like, what the nations are, where we're going to be playing, specifically, like, in the geography of the world, right? And then, like, what those people are generally known for, in, like, a really broad sense. Right.
Sweeping brushstrokes. So, when it comes to backgrounds, is there one that could get me my own plane?
If you buy a background, personal vehicle background, at 2, you could start with a luxury car or a labor rig, which is like an industrial kind of rig,
Nice.
a rocket pack, a plane,
Don't tempt me.
or a freighter airship.
Ooh.
Going Zeppelin, boys.
That's very tempting, yeah.
I'll get us there.
Just as an explanation for, like, what I'm doing and where I go, I like that.
If you spent 3 points, you could get a fighter plane, a seaplane,
Ooh,
a heavy freighter airship, a recon airship, or a battle rig, which is as close to Gundam as you're going to get.
yeah. Seaplanes are so cool.
Okay, what's the difference between brawn and athletics?
Brawn is for, like, fisticuffs.
Application of
sorry.
strength, maybe?
No, that's wrong. Brawn is like lifting and breaking objects with your strength.
Okay.
Athletics is more traversal and
Athletics is
acrobatics.
running, climbing, and swimming.
Okay.
Plus swinging on ropes, balancing, throwing weapons like grenades and knives.
What exactly is security?
Security is picking locks and trap making.
Okay.
Basically, knowledge of forms of security and how to bypass those things.
Is there a certain number of knacks we get? Or
Yes.
is it like a cost?
Yes, there are a certain number of knacks.
Okay.
The knacks don't cost any character points. You just get 3 skills to pick
Nice.
that you have knacks attached to.
Alright, I am definitely going to take mechanics and probably rig handling as knacks, just so everyone knows.
Do they have to be trained skills?
No, you could have a knack for something that you don't have training in. Like it's sort of like an innate, like I just happen to be casually good at this, but I'm not formally trained.
Now, do I want any presence skills?
Well, I'm not taking present skills.
I may just throw like a knack for diplomacy in there. That sounds like a good idea.
Which is intimidation.
I mean, if you want to go intimidation, go for it. But
It's the
It only works
I
when
have
you're
my-
in the rig.
I have my battle rig.
Surprising
Or is
nobody.
that how you that's your diplomacy is?
just, I'd like to use brawn as my diplomacy.
Look at me break this rock. Don't you want to make deals with me? Just imagine with me if this was your bone.
The American
Crunch.
style of negotiation.
Yes.
The true art of the deal.
Surprisingly nobody, I made a one-note character.
Sure.
Yeah.
Did you actually put mastered as any of your skills?
I thought we couldn't do that, so I did.
Just checking.
You're encouraged not to.
Yeah, you were
Encouraged
heavily suggested not to.
But yeah, it's pretty one-sided.
So you're all physical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get those sweet intellect skills, though. Yeah, I'll put knack for diplomacy. That sounds fun.
I picked linguistics.
Ooh, nice.
Now, the good thing about linguistics, actually, is that it doesn't determine, like, how many languages you know. You make a check when you try to speak or understand a language that's other than your own. And if you succeed,
Then you have it.
I mean, you'll probably still have to make future checks, but like you're not limited by, oh, I only know English, French, and Spanish. Like,
'Cause I know there was another system that did. If you succeeded, you have it, but if you failed, then you failed it. You cannot succeed on it again until you get like training.
That feels like a Call of Cthulhu type thing. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Though.
'Cause there might have been like Star Wars as well.
It must have been something else.
Because
Call of Cthulhu breaks out each language.
Because it may have been like Call of Cthulhu or Delta Green as well.
Okay.
That's what I want my next to be. We'll do.
So I went with the 2 points to get a light transport airship for that background.
So yes, can we hear about backgrounds now?
yes, backgrounds. So you spent 2 points, so you can get a freighter airship.
Freighter airship.
Yeah, the like a heavy freighter. Yeah, I guess technically it is a light
light.
freighter. Yeah.
I'll use freighter instead of
So
transport.
that's like a zeppelin. That's a proper like. Okay, just as long as you're aware. But when they say airship, they mean like.
Yeah, I'm imagining this person as like a merchant who's also skilled in like was originally a startup using rigs and stuff like that. Got enough money. Now does kind of that transport job.
So the options for backgrounds are cash, job, hideout, personal vehicle, favor, and reputation.
What's job?
You have a source of dependable income as long as you keep turning up for work. For instance, if you spent 1 point on the job background, you'd get $25 a month. You'd start with $10 starting cash, and you do like shift work in a bar. Right? That's the kind of example of work you would do.
And at higher points?
For instance, if you spent 3, you get $100 a month, $40 starting cash, and you have a decent job. Meaning it's not like unpleasant, you know.
It's not factory work.
Characters in Age of Steel are not intended to be incredibly rich.
Oh, okay.
You still are adventuring for some reason.
So the job would be long-term cash, and then cash would, of course, be like money up front.
Okay.
Right.
So what's the cash levels again?
50, 100, and 400.
Do we not start with cash if we don't pick that?
No, you do start with cash. So this is just extra.
Okay. And what about reputation?
Reputation. You spend 1 point, you are famous to a small group of people. 2 points, you're famous to a large group of people. 3 points, you are famous to a huge number of people. The examples they have for that in order are like local hero of a small town, well-respected poet, and movie star. Right? In order of reputation. Rep may lower the difficulty value of certain checks, like Charm or Intimidate, if the NPC in question has heard of the character.
That's not going to be useful for me.
I'm a ghost investigator. Just out in the middle of nowhere.
Investigating
A
ghosts.
marijuana field.
Yeah. That only worked out half well.
Fight me, goat demon.
I still can't believe we spent 20 minutes of that talking about how we need to find a squirrel to throw on the transporter and make it look like it was an accident.
Okay. Since you asked, Robert, by the way, you start out with $350.
Okay.
And some clothing.
Sweet. It's good.
So relative to how things cost, is that a decent amount of money?
If you wanted to buy let's say an axe, that would be $40.
Ooh, pricey.
A grenade would be $20. A silk vest, $50. Flak armor is $200.
Oh.
There goes my money.
Expensive clothing is $25 and up. Hot weather gear, $30. Burglar's tools, $60. A field radio, $100.
Oh.
A horse, $200.
So you can't buy your horse a flak jacket.
If you wanted to take a
No
airship,
bargain for you.
like a local distance,
Mm-hmm.
$5 to $50, depending on the distance.
Nice.
Long distance air shipping, air of you, right? $100 to $250.
Airship travel makes decent money.
A bottle of spirits, $2.
Nice.
An extravagant meal, $5.
At least the booze are cheap.
A dose of morphine, $20.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, a deluxe simulacra, one of the clanks, the robots, right? $900.
Can't start with one.
Well, deluxe one.
Is there a
a
non-deluxe?
monotask simulacra? $200. But it does one thing.
Mm-hmm. I taught it how to land the Zeppelin. I have no idea how to land myself.
It can't take off.
Yeah,
it
it just
only
lands.
So you set it up, and then you say, all right, for the last 20 minutes, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
Hopefully everything will be fine.
You had one job.
With Zeppelins, is it just pointing the fans down, or is it letting out hot air?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yes. I programmed you to soak up bullets.
Because I
You
couldn't
wouldn't
figure
even
out
need
how
like
hot
a logic.
balloons
You wouldn't even need like
went down until I
a
figured
card
it's
in there.
because they have a flap at the top to let out air.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh.
Pop the flap balloon.
Do I want more starting money? Or do I want
One point is like $10, right?
No, well, just putting one character point into cash will get you $50
Or
right away.
50.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I want more starting money or if I just want to bump up physical to
Stat.
the max.
Be
Is
just
the max
Burl
5?
McQueen's.
Now, I will say that it does encourage me to tell you that like 4s and 5s are rare in stats. So like,
Yep.
you're starting out as like a freak of nature essentially.
Well, like I said, this is one note character.
If you want to do that, that's fine. But
Oh, 4 would be enough. Let's get cash at level 3. That way I can like buy stuff.
cash at 3, you got $400.
Wow.
In addition to the $350 you already have.
So, in terms of nations,
Mm-hmm.
Fire
what,
Nation.
what do we have available? They are always attacking. You are not prepared.
So, post the Great War,
Mm-hmm.
there are 5 superpowers. By the way, the world is called Neris, by the way, Neres, just for your reference. So if somebody talks about Neris, they mean Earth, basically.
Okay.
You've got the Haldoran Third Kingdom. It was originally the First Kingdom, and then many years passed, the Second Kingdom, and many years, but you get the notion. The Haldorans have a long history. An ancient empire ruled by a monarchy. They once ruled almost 2/3 of the entire world. They're a proud and noble people with a long military tradition and a famously dry wit. So guess what country that's based upon?
England.
Yes. However, they are also bound by a rigid class system and have a reputation for belligerence.
This is still England. Still 1920s England.
There's the Latvian Empire, a relatively young but increasingly powerful nation, renowned for its technological prowess, its wealth, and its tenacity. A hegemony of over a dozen smaller nations. Cosmopolitan society embraces diversity and believes it gives them great strength. Brings its own traditions and customs to the melting pot that is Latvian culture.
How do you spell that? That sounds...
Litvian.
Litvian.
That's like the idealized version of America, but not the real version.
They're seen as the most accepting of modern society and new discoveries. They've lost a little of themselves in their blind pursuit of advancement, however. So yeah, it's
Sounds
kind of
about
like a golden age, like pure ideal America. You have the theocratic empire of Prin. Prin is a land covered in sprawling plains, boreal forests, and sweeping steppe land. They're commonly just called the theocracy because they're ruled by the divine emperor.
Japanese vibes here.
Much of its culture and government mandated by the church.
Kind of.
More like the
One of the
Roman
most
Empire.
populous nations in Neris, but many people think it's like a stagnant, old-timer kind of place.
Popeland.
The Prinese are a dour, stoic people, but are also very family-oriented and deeply loyal to their friends. They've got a rich heritage that they're intensely proud of, and are often deeply spiritual and thoughtful individuals. However, the church's secret beliefs have been growing in power in recent years, resulting in a growing feeling of unrest in the people of Prin. We have the Republic of Kesh, a highly religious nation with a long history and a love of trade. Unlike the pious theocracy, they believe that religion should bring happiness and freedom. They trace their history almost as far back as the Haldorans, to the ancient Moldori Empire, whose religion the Republic still follows to this day. The Keshi and the theocracy have a long history of rivalry. The religions are closely linked, but each considers the other one to be heretics.
Yep.
The Keshi people are friendly, generous, and lively, and are naturally inclined towards trade. They also have a reputation for lax morals and an inclination towards avarice.
All right.
And then there are the free nations of Kijani, which is actually where we're playing this evening. It's the youngest, the youngest superpower, founded 2 years ago, post the end of the Great War. They're a bunch of like allied kingdoms that got together to sort of fend for themselves against everyone else. A proud and warlike nation. They have a long history of conflict with both themselves and the other nations of Neris, which has earned them a fierce reputation. A vibrant and industrious nation, keen to earn their place on the world stage. Dozens of subcultures and traditions. They're gregarious and have a great love of history and stories. However, many people of the other nations are really slow to trust them because they were notoriously mercenarial during the Great War. They fought on both sides. Sometimes they didn't even fight at all. They declared themselves like neutral or independent. And so people see them as like bloodthirsty mercenaries rather than
In it for the money.
Yeah.
What was this?
What's that?
What was the name of the nation?
The Free Nations of Kijani. Kijani.
K-A-I-J...
No, Kijani.
J-N.
J-A-N-I. Kijani. And so, whatever nation you pick, I've got some like suggested names to give you an idea of like what they feel like.
Litvian?
So the Litvians, the suggestion for Litvian names, which again, there's like a lot of their nations under them, right? That sort of create the melting pot, right? Traditional Litvian male names are Dieter, Gerhard, Werner, Kurt, Horst, Otto.
Of course I stumbled into Germany.
Surnames like von Hochtern,
It had some...
Bauer, Kruger, von
I do.
Fustadt.
German.
Now, the
Like the
Rheinlanders,
many princedoms of Germany, Prussia.
the Rheinlanders have names like Marco,
Of course, they don't
Angela,
have
Luca,
Rhinelanders.
Matteo, Francesco.
Getting that kind of Italian.
Italian. Surnames
Nice.
like Brusco, Armani, Manganiello, Ibarra, Vasquez.
Ooh,
Vasquez.
always a good one.
And then there's the Yalgiri, who have names like Johann, Jesper, Edvin, Arvid, Alexander, Victor, Emil, Oscar, Rasmus, and surnames like Ackerland, Holmberg, Lindgren, Skold, Elsadotter, so like Norwegian, Scandinavian stuff.
Yeah.
Vanna was my name for a German class.
There's
I do
also
love going back.
the Astmarkian, Thomas, Roland, Laszlo, Tibor, Andrew.
Good syntax.
Surnames like Sigoru, Eraskar, Balog, Kovacs, Horos, Bakal, Malik, Tvardov. So the Libyans have like the most like potential sort of ethnicities or whatever because they're a big nation with a bunch of individual peoples under them.
Okay, what about Cash?
The Keshi. What kind of are you doing? A male character or a female character or what?
Female character.
Okay. Nadia, Mira, Samya, Yasmin, Aisha, Lohisha, Madja, Rihan, Safia, Tia. And their surnames are like Al Barik, Fala,
It's
Asem,
like the Georgian,
Hijazi, Basiri,
like that that's a
Dawash,
Slavic,
Hamid.
but still like Arabic, like that Eastern European.
Yeah.
Kind of bit of Turkey and
Yeah.
is you're saying Georgia in there. Yeah.
So, how do you spell
Ymir
Nadia in
seems
that?
like
Nadia.
a little Slavic, but
N-A-D-I-A.
it's still
And what were some of the surnames?
Al apostrophe Haza, Burhan, Al Barik, Fela, Asem,
Yeah, let's go with that one. How you spell it?
ASEM,
Yes.
The Kajani people are so male. Akida, Sefu, Reth, Suberi, Hashan, Jabali, Mosi, Malawa, Njau,
was it Mosi?
Mosi. So those are more along the like Ethiopian, Mali, Congolese kind of.
North African.
Their surnames are things like Adibawale, Akeloye, Okoye, Bello, Mbadinuchu, Ngige, Buhari, Ife, Hajanakoko.
What's my uncle's last name? He's from Nigeria. What is his last name?
Gotta Google yourself. Google your family real quick.
I don't think I'll.
Can always pick something close to that. Though.
We'll see.
Okay, so you've chosen backgrounds if you wanted them. Put all your character points into things.
Yep.
Put your 3 knacks where you want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
You start with 3 moxie points.
Nice.
And those moxie points refresh at the start of play, right? Every time you start playing again. And they're equal to the adventure level, which is a standard adventure, so you start with 3. And sometimes you can be kind of gifted more at the end if you are particularly heroic or
Yeah.
pulpy or whatever, right?
Whatever we're looking for.
You've got your $350, right? Or
Mhm.
however much.
That's yeah.
So now all you have to do is buy equipment, right? So we've got weapons here, both of the ranged and melee variety, military or otherwise. We've got armor. We've got pieces of equipment like climbing gear, a holster, a backpack, an oil lantern, etc., etc. A field radio, a gas mask, and so on and so forth. So just tell me what you want.
How much is a gas mask?
A gas mask is $20.
Not too bad.
While wearing a gas mask, a character is immune to any airborne toxins or gases. Because it was made for like mustard gas. Like
The strong stuff.
Let's talk about armor.
armor. Okay, I'm for it. So it depends on what kind of armor value you want and how much money you want to spend. Right? The basic thing is like wearing a thick leather jacket, which will give you an armor value of 2, but it costs $25. And the armor values go up by 2 for every sort of level up, right? For instance, a silk vest is 4 AV. That costs $50, twice as much. Flak armor is a 6 AV, but that costs $200. That's a big step up. A steel vest gives you 8 armor value. That costs $300. Something called storm armor, which gives you an AV of 10, and that costs $600.
It's like war armor.
Or,
I'm assuming.
if for some reason you had $2,000+, you could get an Ansler Tech suit, which is experimental armor, which has got like magnetic fields and weird alloys and shit.
Oh, I'm afraid I'm limited to storm armor at most.
Storm armor, and it's like stormtrooper armor. It's like in the Nazi sense, right? It's a full suit of steel armor worn over a canvas undersuit with a fully enclosed helmet that incorporates a gas mask. Such suits were issued to important officers or squads of elite soldiers during the war.
Now, is there any social stigma to wearing certain kinds of armor?
Of course.
Yeah.
You show up, jack
And you show up
booted
in your
armored
storm
up,
armor
people
in
are
the
like,
middle of the town. They're like, what the fuck is going on? The police will be there in a matter of minutes. Yeah. Because they got phones. They could just like do the rotary dial. This motherfucker is in the middle of the street looking like a battle tank.
So if you wore like a steel vest, would that cause much of a stir?
That's still like obviously battle gear. Like it's a much heavier version of flak armor. It was issued to assault troops during the Great War to protect them during trench assaults, for instance. Typically sold with a visored steel helmet. So yeah, I mean that's like you look like a soldier at that point.
So it sounds like the flak is the
Next step down.
it's like the middle ground of people will still kind of maybe side eye you, but
Well, flak vests were issued to every soldier in the Great War. They're typically sold with a steel helmet as well. So it's like the very bottom of like your basic grunt is going to wear
So
a flak suit.
so the silk vest
so
is the
after
first
that
blend.
is like stuff that you could walk around.
Thick leather jacket and a silk vest is like guaranteed not to roll any eyes whatsoever.
Okay, so let's go to
Silk vests are easily concealed beneath other clothing, or sometimes designed to even just look like everyday clothing. Multiple layers of silk and canvas.
Silk is what armor value?
4.
For the silk vest, it's 4. Yeah.
And I'm guessing no armor stacking.
No.
Yeah, it's a mess.
I want to stack some storm armor under some other storm armor.
The flag is 200, right?
Well, they'll
how
have to excavate your body.
How much are weapons? So what's a gun?
Good idea. So,
What kind of gun you want?
how much was the silk vest?
The silk vest is $50.
Just like a pistol.
Yeah, a pistol is going to be like $80.
Okay. That's
And that is a self-loading pistol. Fires bullets from a vertical magazine and recocks itself with every shot.
nice.
Damage,
Self-loading pistol does 2d6.
range.
100. And that range is the maximum number of yards.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. Yards. Magazine.
10.
Any other qualities?
No. A box of 50 bullets for the pistol costs $8. Just to let you know.
Okay, what?
And my assumption is that when you buy a weapon, you've got
At least.
first mag free. You know what I mean?
So What are some other firearms?
There are the light and heavy revolvers, pump action and break action shotguns, sawn-off shotguns as well. Combat rifle, carbine. You've got the traditional bow and crossbow as well, because hunting's still going on, or guerrilla warfare, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
For conventional melee weapons, you've got knife, club, brass knuckles, sword, axe, machete, whip, spear, javelin. Military ranged weapons, submachine gun, howitzer pistol, flamethrower, machine gun,
How
heavy
big is this
machine
thing
gun,
supposed to be?
light
It's called a
artillery.
howitzer.
etc., etc.
Or is it
Trench
just a
knife.
hand cannon?
You can also get a rig knife,
Is that a knife for a rig or
a
a knife?
rig-sized blade capable of cutting through
Yeah, okay.
sheet steel in a single blow. You've got a pneumatic knife as well,
Yeah, I figured that. I figured
carried by
like,
some rigs.
I figured like one rig would have like a pneumatic chainsaw kind of
Grenades, smoke bombs, fire bombs, TNT,
monoblade.
an Ansler Tech pistol, an Ansler Tech rifle, and a pulse grenade.
I'm guessing those are painfully expensive.
Wait, so is Demolitions making
Yes.
weapons or making bombs, or is that for like the grenades?
Demolitions is. Let me get it. Let me give you the exact wording so I don't. lead
'Cause
you
I may have it
astray.
trained and knacked.
Do I need to untrain that?
You can properly use, handle, set, and defuse explosives. It also allows a character to create their own explosives and also recognize other such devices.
So how would I procure equipment? Just maybe like the electronics to do that. How much would that cost? Just like tools, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I can give you that. Give me a second here. That would be under like equipment.
I guess you still need to do your weapons.
Yeah.
Because my next are demolitions, education, and science.
Nice. I've got rig handling, mechanics, and diplomacy for my max. So spread across all three.
I'm just gonna need lots of diesel. Just pack it. Just pack. Just. Although it's not that explosive, it's pretty.
It just burns. Just burns a lot. Unless you happen to have it like pressurized vapor. Then you gotta worry.
That's what I can do. Just make a flamethrower.
Yeah, there you go. I'm sure
No,
those
it's-
exist.
But it's still, you have to actually really get it vaporized.
Need to
It's
get a
easily,
good
even
nozzle.
if you like even if it's just like a pool, a match won't really light it.
It needs time to evaporate a little bit. And that's
You
what
need, like-
catches.
You need like a mechanics kit, you know what I mean? Because you'd have tools with you, right? And then you'd have to acquire the supplies, right? And then there's a tiny crafting system where you're just like, oh, what's the kind of thing I want to make? How much is that gonna cost in terms of crafting points? Not money, but like. And so you do a check and you see how long it takes you and blah blah blah. I would say that like a mechanics kit, which is $60, will give you everything you need to like do mechanics stuff. You can also get a simpler version of that with a toolkit where it's just like a spanner, a hammer, a screwdriver, that sort of thing.
That was
Okay.
what, 60 you said?
Mechanics kit is $60. A toolkit just costs $6.
Okay, this is what I'm looking for in weapons.
Okay.
Price is not so much as a detriment to me. So I want something good, but I don't want something I'm going to get arrested for.
There is no overlap between these two things.
Can I have a license? I swear, officer, it's for hunting.
Now, luckily, since we're playing in Kajani, it specifically says no one will look twice at a character openly wearing a pistol on his belt in any part of Kajani, for instance. However, if they were visiting the gleaming metropolis of Eisenstadt, they would conceal it. Right? So it depends on where you are, right?
Okay. Local weapon laws.
Yeah,
So if you
firearms.
so if you had like a pistol or a revolver or whatever in a holster, maybe even like a sawn-off shotgun, again in a holster or some kind of bag or something like that, not a big deal. If you're carrying around with like a combat rifle strapped to your back, even in Kajani, they're going to be like, this motherfucker came in here.
Come on.
They're like, awkward flex, but
Yeah.
it's...
How do they feel about melee weapons? Like, if I was carrying around a sword,
Most people seeing as how like most people are fighting with like guns nowadays, they're like, all right, that's kind of weird, but okay.
Old-fashioned, okay.
it's familiar.
Yeah.
Or I could just say it's whipping. It's for recreation. purposes.
Sure. Yeah. Well, a sword would be $60, and it would give you a 3d6 damage, plus physique divided by 3.
Okay, let's go with this.
Swords are still a reasonably common weapon. Many officers carried sabers during the Great War.
Yeah. Even in the Spanish War, a lot of Cavalier still had sabers.
Yeah.
Because they were easy to... Well, even World War One.
During the Great War, the forces were still like riding horses with sabers and pistols and everything like that, doing cavalry charges and things. Until somebody invented the machine gun, and they were like, "Well,
No, even
That
when...
time has passed.
Well, even...
well, I'm talking
World War
about
One,
in this
Yeah.
setting, they're like,
Even the Great
well,
War.
nope,
Yep.
we're jumping right to trench warfare. No,
Yep.
thank you.
So,
That's how you get trench to
revolvers.
trench. Use a horse.
Revolvers,
And
yeah.
then back out.
Handguns. I want something packs a punch. Not gonna get me arrested. And
So the personal death ray is out.
Yeah.
Just get your hammer of dawn. It'll look like a pistol, but it's your laser guidance system.
So a heavy revolver
like that
is
about
probably what you want.
okay.
It does 3d6. It's like a large, high caliber revolver. So you're talking about like a Dirty Harry
Nice.
style kind of gun. You know what I mean?
Question about
So that
do you
does
feel lucky?
3d6 damage. It has a range of 100. It has a magazine of 6, obviously, and it costs $100.
It's not one of those
How much
weird
was your
revolvers.
50.
50.
Yeah, the silk vest was 50.
Yep. I think most of us are probably going to be wearing that.
And how much are bullets for that?
For a box of 30 bullets for a heavy revolver costs $10. So you get 30 bullets for $10.
It's not too bad.
And again, you start with 6
One
in the
full,
chamber.
yeah. Lucky you.
Bullets times 60.
2 boxes. So I'm fancy.
Now, obviously, if you're carrying this ammunition and you want to get at it easily, I would suggest like a bandolier or maybe a backpack or something like that. You have to be kind of reasonable about where you're storing it.
A holster and a bandolier, what would that run?
A holster, hip or shoulder for a pistol, would just be $1. However, you can also get a quick draw holster.
Yes, please.
A character can draw a weapon from a quick draw holster as a free action, meaning they wouldn't have to spend an action to like change
Prep it
weapon
out.
as they'd normally do. That costs $4. Because
I think I can make that.
it's like it's the industrial age. People can make leather, like whatever, like rivet some stuff together. There you go.
You got tons of dead cows and leather ready to go.
Yeah.
Got to feed the world.
What
man.
were grenades?
Grenades? You take the pin out of them and you check. So it's a big building. With patience, but grenades cost $20 per grenade. Right? They do 5d6.
You are definitely going to get arrested if you want
That's just hide them in a pocket.
Grenades and firebombs are almost universally illegal for non-military personnel,
Yep.
which is why many criminals repurpose mining explosives.
So,
Mining explosives.
So,
How
like-
much do those cost?
they're like an ammo belt, so I can.
Ammo bandolier, yeah, you can wear it across your. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bandolier is $6.
Second, I have potentially like $140 still left.
Wow. Gotta Google how to spell that because I always mess it up.
Bandolier?
Yep.
Bandolier.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I could.
Like bandolier.
Yep. It's a band of liars.
Names.
Got $62 left. I feel that's some good walking around money.
So,
Yeah.
I got $510 left.
You could do the.
Would you like to buy a car?
You could do the.
How about a
Any-
vowel?
Any suggestions?
Suggestions? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got a sword, you've got a revolver, heavy revolver specifically.
Got a holster and ammo belt.
Mm-hmm.
Bullets.
Let's see here. You can also pick up some.
What about medical equipment?
That's what I'm getting to. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much are those elixirs? I think it was.
Mhm.
Tinctures, if you will.
Okay. I'll be in a second. You could buy some expensive clothing if you wanted to look really good. Rope, climbing gear, telescope, survival gear, a backpack, torches, candles, a spirit lighter, small mechanical fire lighter that runs off of an internal reservoir of flammable spirits.
Oh, what was that?
It's a spirit lighter.
How much?
Spirit lighter costs $2.
Nice.
If used as a light source, a spirit lighter will burn for 15 minutes and cast dim light in a 5-foot radius before it needs to be refueled for $1. Box of matches, first aid kit, which you'll need if you want to do medicine checks without penalty.
A what?
A first aid kit. You can also have a doctor's kit as well, which does the same thing but also gives you 1d6 on medical checks. Lockpicks, burglar's tools.
How much is the doctor's kit?
The doctor's kit is $60.
Oh, so most of the kits are $60. Probably.
Do you have medicine?
Yeah.
Would you like for me to buy a doctor's kit for you?
I mean, I got $60 left after that still, so.
You can buy a field radio, a firearms kit
What's firearms kit do?
for cleaning and maintaining firearms. Yeah, it allows the user to create new ammunition if they've got casts and powder and all that stuff.
Save those shells.
So you could like use the crafting system to just make.
Spirit light is
Ammunition.
probably not hot enough to be like
You can buy a horse
like a ethylene torch or
and some
whatever.
riding gear.
No.
What about
If
the?
you're burning spirits, you're
Pack
going
of
to be
cigarettes?
lucky to get high temps off of it.
So there's where the lighter comes in. What's the difference between burglar's tools and?
Because that's what I want.
Lockpicks,
You know,
it's like
open
the
the door.
difference between a first aid kit and a doctor's kit. Lockpicks allow you to perform security checks without penalty. Burglar's tools allow you to do that, plus give you a d6 bonus.
Fix your rating.
Okay, so I'll buy some burglar's tools.
Burglar's tools is $60.
Sweet, sweet 60.
So most of the equipment, kits, are $60. That makes it a little simple.
And backpack.
Backpack? $3.
Rice cookies, rice crackers.
A little both.
You can also get some marijuana if you want.
Dope.
Just
What is
like
the
as
price
rope.
of weed?
$10.
Wow. Is that like per pound or per joint?
Per dose.
Okay.
Taking marijuana increases the difficulty of all actions by 1 for an hour unless you pass a DP2 willpower check.
Won't make that.
You can also there
There isn't one.
isn't really one.
Okay. You
I
just
mean,
you just zone out,
you
man.
just zone out. You can also, like, if you want to take that leap, you can get cosmetics, right? Artificial limbs and organs and stuff.
But what's the cost on those things?
Depends on what you want.
What's the cheapest?
The cheapest thing is split between a Mark II arm and a Mark II leg. Skeletal steel alternative to a missing leg. Most versions replace here's an arm, for instance. Most versions replace the whole arm from the shoulder. They're ungainly and obvious, but they're strictly just replacements. They don't gain any. You don't get any benefit from them. Just that, like, oh, I have my arm back again.
Yep.
And a single Ansler Tech power cell will power that arm for a month. Now, let's say you got a Mark III arm instead. That can be used to gain 1d6 to any physique skill related to strength or grip, and 1d6 to any melee damage roll. But you'd be consuming charges from the power cell you're using.
Burns brighter.
You could buy steel skin,
Nice.
a permanent AV of 6, and gains a bonus plus 1d6 to all intimidate skill checks.
How much is that? Like 5?
Steel skin is $120.
Oh, that's.
Mechogmatics happen to be cheap because they just came out of the war.
Yep.
Soldiers were using them all the time.
So there's tons of them on the market.
Yeah.
'Cause that seems pretty
Reasonably
nice.
cheap and readily available.
I can almost buy that.
Does that stack with an armor bonus from
Probably not.
equipment?
No. The character with steel skin has a permanent AV of 6.
Which, I mean, is a step above Silk Vest. And I doubt people are going to...
Think badly.
Well,
They're going to think badly.
there will be prejudice, but I don't think they're going to be like, hey, buddy, you're going to need to go somewhere
Recipients
else.
of steel skin look strange, angular, and menacing.
Angular.
Some people elect to have it fitted because they've lost a large amount of skin due to burn scars. Others do so because they enjoy the fear of others.
What about a motorcycle? Can I buy a motorcycle?
No way.
You know,
This is gone now. It is in Leon's.
let me take a look at the vehicles real quick. Motorcycle. Do you want a sidecar?
No.
Then it's $150.
Alright, I'm buying a motorcycle.
Oh man, then I can't wear like goggles in the sidecar. Man.
Well, you do got bombs.
Just toss them out while we're driving. Just drive.
How much is it for the sidecar?
$20 more.
Okay.
That's reasonable.
reasonable. So it's 170.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll keep the rest of my money.
Because you know. Buy everybody a little bit of car.
Any further purchases?
I think I'm good.
I'm good.
What are you thinking, Lance? Anything extra? Yeah. Tapping out money wise.
I think I'll be good. Unless if I get like minor supplies. Cylinder torture.
So on the back, you've got background information, equipment, and notes. On the front, you've got weapons, and everything else should be good now because you've filled it all out. Except concept, which I mean is exactly what it sounds like.
It's supposed to be a brief description.
Washed-up gunslinger turned gambler, or it might be something as simple as engineer.
Free trader.
Perhaps a free trader.
That falls off the back of an airship. Who am I to say no?
Yeah.
It's free real estate.
It's free cargo.
Okay.
I can neither confirm nor deny that I paid the people to throw it off the airship.
Hey, no. If they threw it off, that's a transaction. You paid for it. It's your cargo. That's legal.
Even if it wasn't their cargo.
Okay.
That's what I was
There's some
implying.
potential.
That's what I was implying.
You just have to imply that you had been wronged in that transaction, that you believed the goods to be legitimate.
They were just, sitting there. The implication was that they were for me.
Okay. Let me go. Put away my job.
Before we get started. In the meantime, what is everybody's name so I can get it for the recordings? Lance?
Mosi Okpara.
Please spell that.
Mosi Okpara.
And then what's your concept, just so I can...
Engineer, inventor. I think that's mostly. There's a lot more experimenter.
Mad inventor?
Man inventor, yeah.
Robert?
Nadia Asem.
Nadia?
Yeah.
Help on the last name?
I think he was ASEM.
ASEM? Okay. Concept?
Femme fatale dilettante.
Should we try to help sell this?
I just...
She needs some peer
Choice
pressure.
is still yours.
No, I just have like a million things running through my head right now.
Well, sometimes you just need to let things kind of chill.
Yeah. I'm afraid I would not be all there or I'd be irritated and that's not how I look like.
Play happy.
If you're like me, who sometimes just needs a little peer pressure to do it.
No, that just makes me feel worse or not doing it.
Because then they're giving you perfectly valid reasons why you're not.
Inverse of peer pressure, where you're doing all the pressuring on you.
That's called anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like anxiety.
That's anxiety.
Or
There's a fancier word.
That's my
I'm sure
brain.
there is one.
Just, like step on him at this point. I'm
Yeah.
over here on the couch by myself. There's no reason to be bitching.
Just gonna pick him up and drop him on the couch.
I already did that once.
I
He
think
just gets up and leaves.
Yes.
I think compulsion also fits under self peer pressure. You feel like you have to do it so bad
Well, yeah.
in a different sense.
Legitimate. And I'm gonna completely whiff on it.
But that also is the flip side is
So what is what are the names, by the way?
I am Dieter, Dieter,
Sure.
von Rheinland, Rheinland.
R what now? Try it again.
Rheinland. The Rheinland.
That's really on the nose.
Yep.
Okay.
A free trader
Region. Not just.
from Lithuania.
Litvian
Free
free
trade.
trader. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Male character, I assume. Was it
Mhm.
Dieter? Okay. Lance?
Mosi,
M-O-S-I.
Okpara.
And what was your last name? I'm sorry.
Okpara. I think that's how we pronounce it.
Just spell it for me.
Okpara.
Okay.
Find out that's my.
And you
last
are a Keshi.
name. Keshi. No, Kajani.
Oh, that's right. You're Kajani.
You almost got me. I was like, okay, no.
Kajani, what's your concept?
I think we had said it like mad engineering, mad experimental.
Bomb maker.
Okay. Yeah.
What was your name again?
Mosi, M-O-S-I. It doesn't always have to do with bombs, but sometimes they explode. That's why medical training.
That is a male character, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Robert.
It's Nadia Asem. She's a Kessie femme fatale dilettante.
Okay. I'm shocked.
Yeah,
What's your last name? Again?
Asem.
ASCM?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Keshi.
Come here.
Femme fatale. Well, if there have been a handful of games where the femme fatale sort of type is super appropriate. This would be one of them. So,
She normally does when it's appropriate. It's there.